Hello everyone and welcome to another segment of Build Order Lessons with me, Buddha. Today, we're going to be learning the Terran vs. Zerg Reactor Hellion opening. Here at the bottom left, I do have our red Terran, aiRPsych, and he's a very high Masters player. And on the top right, we have his opponent, Tunico, the blue Zerg, and he is actually a Grandmaster Zerg. So, we're not going to go through the whole game. I will post the replay with the YouTube video. However, we're just going to look at the opening here, kind of how it goes, what the concepts are behind it, of course. And, yeah, we're going to have to just wait and see exactly how Psych executes it. Actually, I went over this replay a couple of times, so I know he's going to do it correctly. But Supply Depot goes down at 10 at the wall. Very standard, of course, for Terran players. Going to speed this up just a tiny bit here so we can get through this. Going to put down his barracks at 12, at his ramp, of course. There it goes. And at 13 supply, he's going to take his gas. Very normal gas timing for Terran. Should be on the right side here, yes. Alright, so one thing that Psych does do well is a lot of the small things that are a little less important, but I'm going to go over them just so that everyone can see it. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds on this map, the Overlord, as you can see, let me pause real quick. The Overlord for Tunico, if he scouts close air positions, which most Zergs will be just in this location. And so if he had spawned on the same side as Psych, then Psych obviously would see it, and he'd know the position of his opponent without having to scout. And Psych should have a pretty good idea of what's going on, just because in Terran vs. Zerg there aren't a lot of builds. And of course the Zerg will also have a good idea of what's going on, because there are only a couple of builds that Terran can do as well that are very efficient openings. Reactor Hellion being the primary one at the moment. So, at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, Psych does check for that Overlord over here. Just continue. Fills his gas right away. And Psych goes for 16 Orbital Command because of the Barracks additional 5-second change they did make to that. We're going to see a Marine come out here. And we're going to see an Orbital Morph as soon as this is done. Instantly goes down. Very good. He chases that drone away, puts down a supply depot to finish his wall off, and he's going to scout with this first SCV that completed the barracks. Now the timing on this is kind of important because you're doing it in a very economical style, and you rally your Marines out to the base where your Zerg opponent is going to be also, so you can apply a little bit of bunker pressure early. And if you're not used to doing this kind of pressure, you don't have to do it, but it's always a good idea to do it just to learn how to be better with multitasking and paying attention to multiple things. But if you can't handle it, don't worry about it. Just do whatever you need to do. You can leave your Marines in your base. You can just scout with this SCV over here. And we do see that factory coming down as soon as Psych hits 100 gas, and as soon as he hits 50 gas, he's going to throw down a reactor on his first barracks. This is all going to happen around the 18 to 20 supply mark, depending on how many SCVs you lose and such. So Psych is going to micro over here. We're not going to pay too much attention to this. He's going to get a free drone. And he loses a Marine and SCV. But he kills an SCV and denies all this mining time. And these Marines for Psych are kind of useless at this point. So he doesn't want to do anything too crazy in that fashion. As soon as Psych gets 400 minerals, he is going to throw down the command center. Typically this will be at 22 supply, but Psych did lose those 2 Marines and the SCV. So, looks like our reactor has finished. He's going to swap the factory with the barracks, add on 2 reactors and a tech lab on his barracks. And this is the most standard follow-up to this. You don't have to add on a tech lab here, but it's by far the most typical. Notice Psych has not stopped mining gas at all. Probably going to start stim as soon as this tech lab finishes. And we're going to see a number of Hellions come out. And now you can vary how many Hellions you want to make. You can go with 2 and switch with the tech lab and go for fast siege tanks. Basically whatever you want to do to follow this up, but this is a very, very typical opening. He's going to make a couple of sets of Hellions here. He's going to start Marine production again, probably start stim in just a second. And these Hellions, Psych chooses to sacrifice them. And he does this for a couple of reasons. He does it because a lot of Zergs play greedy, but I don't recommend sacrificing these at this point in the game. I really think that he should sit back here and deny the creep spread. But he knows what he's doing, and he is going to sacrifice those 2 because he has more coming out, and he's going to... Well, the concept behind this build is to take map control away from the Zerg, so let's pause this for 1 second. If our Zerg player decides not to get Zergling speed, then he's not going to have any map control, because Zerglings that are slow obviously are really bad at killing Terran units. So most Zerg players go for this Zergling speed, but Hellions are still faster, can kite, and have that splash damage plus a bonus versus Zerglings. So the idea here is to control the front of the base, force the Zerg player to not be able to take a very fast third, or to take damage on the third from the Hellions, to deny creep spread, which is incredibly important with those Hellions, and really keep the Zerg contained on their base and blind as to what you're doing. All the Zerg player has for vision are these overlords placed all over the map, and that is it. He doesn't have the towers. The Hellions are going to deny Zerglings from taking the towers in the middle of the map. He forced a Spine Crawler. Sometimes he'll force two. He forces the Queens to be down here so that he can block the ramp. And basically this is just really annoying for the Zerg player. Of course, many Zergs are very used to dealing with this. But in the end, there are a lot of different things that Terran can follow this up with. If we look at Psych's base right now, he did move that factory off of the reactor, and he's starting a barracks on the reactor and a barracks separately. Starting Stim. Probably will start siege tank production very, very soon. But as you can see, he has two bases. He's mining from a gas. He's going to be able to get his tech up to starport very quickly because he has this factory here. And I know Psych likes to go for medevacs as opposed to the very standard siege tank follow-up. But you can honestly do whatever you want. Keep your macro up and do the very best you can. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this replay here. And that is going to be the lesson for today. So hopefully this explains a lot about why Reactor Hellions are so good, even though the Hellions don't often do a lot of damage. It's more of a map control thing, like building Zerglings early for Zerg. You get map control, and that's it. You can't really attack with them because your opponent's going to have units that are better than them, but you get to see what's going on, and that's incredibly important in this game. So a very good job by Psych to execute this build correctly, like I asked him to, and we will just have to see if anybody has any responses or any problems with this. I know roach rushes can be a problem against this, but they are definitely 100% holdable because of the map control you have. So let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe to this channel. I'll be coming out with more and more build orders very, very soon. And thanks for watching.